So we're here today with Abbiegayle Ronayne, Athlone Town goalkeeper. Abbiegayle, thanks very much for chatting with us today. Obviously, you've been on a bit of a break over the last 2 weeks. How does it feel going back to Women's National League action this weekend?
I'm definitely really excited to get back. I'm coming back from the Leaving Cert, so I've had a bit of an extended break. I was off for nearly 5 weeks, so I've missed the last three games due to that. But yeah, I'm really excited to get back. Just like really eager to go. I think it'll definitely be a tough game against Tracy. There's no doubt about that. We found that out in our second game of the season. We probably went in with the wrong attitude, thinking we're going to get the win here, and they showed that they're really ready to go. They're a good team, and I think in the past two games they've shown that they can't be taken for granted. So we're definitely going in with the right mindset there, and we want to get the win, obviously, but we're taking them for. They're going to be a tough team to beat.
Yeah, definitely. After their win against Bows as well, they'll be up for it. But I'm sure yous will be
Yeah.
too. Just touching on that, you just did your leaving cert. How has it been balancing football this year and school?
Yeah, it's definitely tough. Like going from, because I live about an hour and a half away from Athlone myself. I live in Mayo. It's a journey. It's like nearly 3 hours traveling and then 2 hours at training. So go on training days. It was tough to balance getting homework done or getting study done and being back get going training and kind of developing myself, because that was important at the same time to keep pushing on in football. So yeah, it was tough, but I'm glad it's over for now. And I know college will probably be a bit of a struggle, but it'll be good at the same time. Hopefully, living near campus and being able to go to training like on campus and gyms and stuff.
Yeah, and what is it that just keeps you going? Because obviously it is a hard thing to kind of commit to. What is it about football that you just have to keep it up?
I don't know. I suppose it's the feeling probably afterwards. There's nothing like it. Maybe coming out like after the girls chatting with the girls. Just I think it's the social element more than anything. I think I find really good, especially during COVID. Like not being able to. I was probably back in football before I was back in school back in August. So it was actually great to be able to have that social outlet to meet up with people outside your household. But in terms of sport, like I just love sport. I played sport my whole life growing up, nearly everything: rugby, Gaelic, soccer. I think it's probably just ingrained in me to kind of have that drive and mentality to keep going in both soccer and school.
Yeah, and yeah, so you've been on a break for a little while. Have you had time over that break to kind of reflect on the season so far, what you'd maybe like to work on and bring into the next round of games?
Yeah, we were definitely disappointed coming into the break. I was watching the games online, and we definitely let a few games slip away there that we shouldn't, especially against Bows. I think we were on top for that game. We're going in 1-0 up, and I think we needed that discipline to sort of keep that lead and keep going. Really, I think that's something we've probably struggled with, that sort of killer instinct when we're performing well. We've had a lot of great performances to keep it going and maybe get that goal. I think that's maybe something we need to improve on, and it has been something we've been working on to finish off a game and hold a lead. Sort of game management, really. I think maybe it's a bit of our youth. We have a very young team, so I think it's sort of getting that experience into our girls, and that probably comes with more game time. I think we've really sort of progressed as the season's gone along. I think our performances have shown that we've gotten better with each game.
Yeah, and kind of in an opposite light to that, has there been any games where you felt like you have really showed this is what we can do as a team, or do you think you've yet to reach that level?
I definitely think there was some very good performances. I think against Wexford at the start of the season, we had a very good performance. We were sort of, they were on top of us for the whole game, but we were keeping them out constantly. I think we were unlucky. We got two red cards in that game, and then we conceded a penalty in like the last 20 minutes, and that was what they won. It was a 1-0 win to them. So I think it was a few games like that. DLR as well. I think we put in a very good performance. Another one that lost. I think that's probably that sort of. I think we put in a lot of good performances and maybe are unlucky not to get a draw or come out sort of with something, a point at least. I think it's just I think getting that killer instinct really to put away a goal and sort of keep that lead, or at least stop from conceding. Just what I think the 1-0 losses show, that I think we kind of need to stop them from conceding. And
and I know you've kind of touched on it there, like killer instinct, being clinical, like either holding on to leads or not conceding one goal late on. Do you think that's the main thing you've kind of learned as a team so far that you're working to improve on, or are there other things that you've learned, or would that be the key one?
I think that's a huge one. I think there was sort of a shift in mentality with the Galway game. It was probably the first time we'd put away more than 3 goals since the Treaty game. I think that was a huge mentality shift, and I think that showed in the games following that. I think we went into those games, I know I wasn't playing myself, but there was definitely, you could see a change in the team. And I think if the break maybe hadn't come, I think there was definitely performances coming there afterwards. But it's something we've been working on in training, and probably are up front and attacking, because we won't get many opportunities in a game, and so it's important for us when we do to get those, to put them away really. So yeah, that's probably the main thing. As a whole, we've had a few injuries and stuff like that, so we're probably trying to get some of our younger players blooded and kind of get experience with them, especially defending.
And yeah, as you've said, you have quite a young team. You yourself came up through the underage Women's National League setup. How important do you think it was to get that experience before coming in and getting ready for senior football?
Yeah, it was definitely huge. I played under 17 with Sligo and then with Galway as well. So I think those 2 seasons definitely sort of taught me the move from like sort of playing club football with I was playing in Mayo to go into Women's National League, and really it's sort of like a Gainer Cup tournament every week. Like you're playing against the best in the country every week. So it was a huge probably learning curve and experience really. And then when I went to Galway, I got my debut in my first season with them in the senior Women's National League, and I think it was a massive step up. I was like really nervous going into the games, but I actually, once I was in there playing, I felt really comfortable, and I was kind of surprised myself how well I fitted into that group. Then moving on to Athlone, I think I was definitely ready from the experience with Galway to push on. I definitely felt like I could bring something to the team and really help them get results this season.
So that kind of experience in Sligo and Galway, like you're still a young player. Did you feel nervous coming in and kind of being relied on in Athlone, or were you completely confident?
And there's definitely nerves going in, especially to a new group. There's always a bit of uncertainty, but the coaches, the players, they all really helped me settle in really well. They're all just a lovely group. So I think because the whole team, as I said, it's really young. I think we were all just sort of relying on each other to get us out of a hole if we needed. So if I was struggling maybe in a game, I knew my defenders would be working for me, and vice versa. If they were having a bad game, I'd be helping them out. So I think because it is such a close-knit group, I think we have that sort of understanding that we'll help each other out. And I don't think there's too much pressure, as in I don't put a lot of pressure on myself. I go into every game trying to do my best, and if we get a result, that's a bonus.
Yeah, and what are your personal goals at the moment, kind of as a goalkeeper coming into the next few games? Are you hoping maybe for more clean sheets? Are you hoping to work on something in particular? What are you kind of thinking about now?
I kind of take my development working on the controllables. I don't really go into a game saying, okay, I'm going to keep a clean sheet, because that's not really something I can control, because there's 11 or 10 players in front of me. So I kind of have to go in thinking, I'm going to work on this, I'm going to do this right, and then hopefully the clean sheet will come. So definitely in training, I've been working on a few things, especially kicking out. I think distribution is massive in the Women's National League to kind of separate you from other goalkeepers, or just to work to be a better team. I think distribution is massive. It sets teams apart from others. So that's definitely something I've been working on, as well as I'm just back now in training this week. So getting used to the ball again, and probably getting that connection back with my teammates has been a big thing getting ready for the game on Sunday. So yeah, it's kind of more about development for me. It's only my second season in the Women's National League, so I'm just trying to kind of establish myself as number one keeper and keep that spot. So there's definitely competition from the other goalkeepers, so that I think that's really important. It pushes me on and it pushes them on as well. So that's huge, yeah.
And thinking maybe a bit longer, further into the future, do you have aspirations of being in the women's national team?
Yeah, I think anyone who you'd ask in the Women's National League, of course, I want to play in the women's national team. It's always been something I wanted to do, and I think it is something that I can achieve if I keep working every day and training. I think I need to push on in my development. It's not something I'm looking at in the immediate, like in this year. I think for me now, I have to push on and be the best in the Women's National League before I can think about getting a call up to the seniors team, because that's what's most important, being the best both in your team and in the Women's National League. So yeah, definitely in the future, 100%, it's my goal and aspiration to be in the senior team, yeah.
Great. And one question to finish things off. Maybe sometimes goalkeepers are a little bit underappreciated or underrepresented, but who do you personally look up to most as a goalkeeper?
I suppose in terms of men's soccer, I think Alison Becker playing for Liverpool is just like one of the best goalkeepers I've ever seen in terms of all aspects of his game, from distribution to just attacking the lines and coming out doing headers, like to stop plays coming through, as well as the shot stopping is unbelievable. In the Women's Super League, I think Ellie Roebuck is a really good goalkeeper. She's young as well. I think she's only 21 or something like that, and she's already Man City's #1. So I think she's definitely someone I look at. Her training videos are class as well. So yeah, those two keepers in the Women's Super League and the Men's Premier League are probably my two favourite goalkeepers, really.
Lovely stuff. Well, thanks a million for chatting to me today. It was great to talk to you, and best of luck with the rest of the games and of course this weekend. See you later, Abby.
Thank you.